It was also a week where they kept it very simple and they tried to get two of their new roster additions over. Bianca Belair got a win, looked good in her match against Zelina Vega, and they fed Chad Gable to Lars Sullivan in a squash with the human Sasquatch. Maybe that could be a new nickname for him instead of calling him the Freak 17 times every week. Before the match, Kayla Braxton interviewed him and interviewed Chad Gable, and Gable said that he was upset because he wasn't drafted by Raw and he wasn't drafted by SmackDown. He was like the last kid picked in the dodgeball game, so he wanted to call out the big man on the show and show people what he can do. Well, what he did was he lost again, and after the match, Kayla shoved the microphone back in his face, and Gable said, "I quit." And I did one of those old Lance Storm Cabbage Patch dances because I've been begging for this man to quit now for months. Sadly, he did not actually quit. A few minutes later, we had Commissioner Pierce. There he is again. Commissioner Adam Pierce, that's basically what he is. He popped up into the trainer's room. And he said, "I want to make sure I heard correctly what you said a few minutes ago. Did you just say that you quit?" And Gable said that he did. He quit being Shorty G. He said he's done parading around as a character, which I thought was a very interesting choice of words that he would say that on TV. A character, he says, who acts like some public service announcement where if you work hard, you can achieve anything. He said that's nonsense. But he knows somebody who can. An Olympian. And his name is Gable. Chad Gable. Shorty G is dead. Long live Chad Gable. I am proud to say that I never called him by that shitty name on this podcast, and now I won't ever have to. I'm glad they dropped it, but this changes nothing for me. I still want him to run as fast as his feet will carry him right out of the exit door as soon as he is free to do so. Because I am not stupid enough to believe, to fall for this idea, this notion, that even if they give him a little mini push, I mean, no pun intended, but a little mini push, that it's going to last longer than a few weeks before they get bored and they move on. I can show you countless other people. I think of Mojo Rawley. I was thinking about Mojo the other day for some reason, and it got me thinking, think of all the start and stop pushes that we've seen with a guy like Mojo Rawley. Another lower card guy. Every few months, they kind of remember that they have him under contract. I got news for you. Mojo Rawley is very, very fortunate that Rob Gronkowski was brought in for WrestleMania when he was. Because were it not for the association and the friendship that he has with Gronkowski, I guarantee you Mojo Rawley would have been on that list of cuts back in April. And that is the only thing that saved his job. So I think it's great they finally dropped the stupid name, but I want him to ride out that contract and then ride right on out of there. I don't know what Jason Jordan's physical status is. Obviously, he's not cleared to wrestle, or else he would have come back. And it's very likely that his career is over. But I think as we've learned from people like Daniel Bryan and from Edge, who is gone for 9 years, never say never. Never say never. I would not subscribe to the theory that Jason Jordan will never, ever wrestle another match for the rest of his life. Jason Jordan is still very young, and time, over a period of time, who knows, right? What might be in his future. But I don't know what he's physically cleared to do or not do at the moment in terms of taking bumps and stuff like that. I know that he has been working backstage as a producer, but here's an idea that I came up with. Here's an idea that I think would be a fine way of using Chad Gable. With a return to his roots, right, as we're now seeing, I'm back to being Gable, Chad Gable. With him going back to his roots, why not have Gable bring Jason Jordan back as his new coach? Get a little American Alpha reunion going. Even if Jordan can't wrestle, he can be in Gable's corner. He can be there to give him pep talks and kind of be there to be his bud, give him advice. People are going to say, oh, what about Kurt Angle? Why can't Kurt Angle be as manageable? Kurt Angle turned down being a manager. He turned down being a manager for Matt Riddle. Because he's got his own company that he's running now. And also, I just don't think, If I remember, I think he also made the comment that the offer just wasn't very good. I'm sure whether he has another company or not, I'm sure if they threw a bunch of money at him, he would do it. But he already turned down the chance to be a manager on SmackDown once before. But you don't need Kurt Angle. You don't need Kurt Angle. Jason Jordan's a lot younger than Kurt Angle is. And he's got history with Gable. He can almost live vicariously through his friend here on TV. That could be kind of the gimmick. And it's a way to get him back on television while he also can do his producer duties. But I think having those two associated with each other again and having him in that coach, kind of the coach and player dynamic almost, could work. And then Gable could go out there and he could be that little pit bull, that little bulldog, that little Rottweiler that just, yeah, he's small, but man, he is fierce and he is tenacious and he just goes in there and he can pick guys up. He's deceptively strong and he could get over. And I think it could work. So if there's any way to associate these two again together on TV, even if Jordan can't be physical, I would love to see the two of them reunited and he could be like a coach for Gable. Gable was just talking about the Olympics and all the wrestling titles he won. So I think about things here in terms of coach. I think that could work. That's an idea that I would like to see them explore. We finally got the match between Seth Rollins and Murphy. Singles match between those two. I thought it was very good stuff. They're allowing Rollins to use the buckle bomb again. He used the buckle bomb in this match on Murphy. I think that is a mistake. I don't think he should be using it anymore. I hope they will rethink that. He won with the curb stomp and started beating on Murphy with a kendo stick after until Aaliyah ran down to the ring. I guess they did draft Aaliyah to SmackDown after all. She probably got drafted before Gable did. The whole Mysterio family was drafted to SmackDown. She got into the ring to shield Murphy from the attack. Dominic ran down and he was attacked by Rollins until Rey Mysterio ran down with a chair and chased Seth off. And Aaliyah had her hands all over Murphy, helping him up to his feet, much to the chagrin of the Mysterio men. Where is this going? Where is this going? Because they cannot possibly think it is a good idea to pay this off with a 32-year-old guy making out with a 19-year-old daughter of one of their stars on TV. That would just be a bad look. So what is the payoff here? How much longer is this supposed to drag on for? Murphy, he did flash what looked like kind of an evil grin at the end, as Aaliyah was embracing him. He can use her in some way and then dump her and, stay as a heel. But use her how? This is what I've been trying to wrap my head around. What does she have that she could offer him? What does he need to use her for? Well, I mean, besides the obvious, but what is it that he can get out of her, I guess? It's not like she has any power or authority. It's not like Rey Mysterio is a champion or Dominic is a champion and I'm going to use the daughter and the sister here to kind of get to them because I want a title shot. Like, that's not the case here. So I'm just trying to wrap my head around this idea of if he is just kind of putting her on and leading this girl on, she's very young, she's very naive, and he just wants something out of this that isn't what most people are probably thinking. Well, then what is it? I get that they want a soap opera-like segment on the show every week, and maybe it does good numbers. Maybe that's why they've kept this thing going. I don't have the minute-by-minute breakdowns. I should take a look at what the quarter hours are when they're on TV. They love their soap opera stuff, and there are casual fans who aren't fans of, the in-ring product. Like, work rate is not important to a lot of the people that watch these shows necessarily, especially on Fox. So I get that they want their soap opera type stuff on the program, but when you have a soap opera like storyline, usually it leads somewhere. It leads to something, and I'm just trying to figure out in my mind, okay, where could this be headed? And I haven't quite figured it out yet.